Hi YouTubers, it's me Vedana, so something important. I want to talk about something important right now. Basically, are there any alternatives to YouTube as a platform? And the answer is yes, there are alternatives, but most of them kind of suck, honestly. I'm not trying to be mean, not trying to come off as anything like that, but I want to tell you guys some things. Are there any alternatives to YouTube? Yes, there are other types of video sharing websites. There's Twitch, there's Rumble, there's many different types of video sharing sites. Why I say they suck, I'm not saying they suck as in like, oh, they're terrible, they're like shitty quality, they totally suck. What I mean by that is most other video sharing sites are inferior to YouTube. YouTube, despite all the problems, despite having all kinds of bullshit, and we all know that bullshit can be bullshit, YouTube is by far the best, the number one video sharing site that will never go out of business. It is the best site out there. There's no such thing better than YouTube. YouTube, in terms of the hierarchy of all the video sharing sites, it is number one. There is no other video sharing site that has all the all the features of YouTube. Unfortunately, there's really no other video sharing site like YouTube. Now, there are alternatives like Twitch, Rumble, a few other ones, but really these websites don't have all the features like YouTube. I'll talk a little bit about this briefly, with all the features that YouTube has, like comments, live chats, your ability to communicate with people, build a fan base, make money, a nice big ass moodle like the Big Ass Cigar. There is just no other video sharing site like it. Unfortunately, all other websites, and that's why you want to be so careful when you have a YouTube account to make sure you stay in good standings, because once you're banned from YouTube, you're blacklisted. You'll never get on YouTube again. So with the same account, that's why there's really no other good alternative to YouTube. I mean, there are other alternatives, like I said, like Twitch and Rumble, but none of them have the levels of features that YouTube does. And a lot of people hate on YouTube. A lot of people are total dicks to YouTube and say, oh, YouTube sucks. YouTube will go out of business anytime soon. Just you wait and see. YouTube will go out of business, next year or the year after that. The YouTube doomsday people, all that kind of crap. That kind of shit, is bullshit. It's complete bullshit. YouTube will not go out of business anytime soon, anytime in my lifetime. There's just no other alternative like YouTube and Google. There are other platforms we can share videos, and those other platforms might be a little bit more lenient with certain rules, like, I don't know, some other websites might allow naughty material, not particularly nice material. They might be a little bit easier on for example, swearing, or they might be a little bit nicer or easy going on off color, sexual content, but no other website has the features like YouTube. And another thing you have to keep in mind is, even though YouTube really does protect their ass, like the Big Ass Cigar, and say like, oh, we don't allow, pornography, we don't allow any type of, other, really off-color, way over-the-top stuff, keep in mind, you gotta be damn careful, fucking careful on these other websites, because YouTube is really protecting you, because these other websites, there's been a lot of cases like LimeWire, which is a video sharing site, all kinds of copyright bullshit on that website. There's been issues with people sharing pictures of all kinds of shit. So you want to be careful, because YouTube really is not only by far the best video sharing site, it's also the most secure. So in terms of viruses, in terms of hacks, you want to be damn careful. I mean, YouTube really protects you. They protect your ass like the Big Ass Cigar when you're on the website, because these other video sharing websites, yes, they might be more lenient with the content they allow. They're not going to kick you off if you lose your temper and say, oh, fuck you, whatever, all that kind of shit, as in BS is BS. yes, but these other video sharing sites may not protect you in the same way. They may not be 100% secure in terms of viruses. They may contain potential malware. I'm not saying they're terrible. I mean, there's a lot of other websites like Twitch. Twitch is a totally reputable website. I really haven't used it that much, but I'm not saying they suck. I mean, they're totally shitty quality. But when you get into like a lot of the very low down websites, very low hierarchy websites that are just kind of there and here and there, and like, oh, we don't really care what you post here. Be careful, because there's been a lot of cases of people getting into a lot of shit, a lot of bullshit on the internet. So it's not just about protecting yourself. Also, there is no website like YouTube in terms of like the level of features to communicate with your subscribers, to post, to comment, to rate, to like videos, to subscribe to videos, all the freaking features that YouTube has. There is no other alternative like it. So, and that's just the bottom line. I mean, that's just the bottom fucking line. So anyway, pretty fucking cool. Bye.